What is going on YouTube? It's David Hammond, beautiful Mother Nature. If you guys hear Kiro in the back chewing on a stick, you know why. Anyways guys, in today's tutorial, what we are speaking of is 3 tips to instantly improve your drone photography. Now, as a bit of context, we're here in the Rouge Valley, obviously. It is a super moody, eerie day. I'm actually filming this on Halloween. All this fog behind me, it's very quiet and secluded, so perfect for the drone, right? Deep valley behind me, so we're gonna overlay B-roll, tips, everything. So with that said, flew the drone, got some photos, and that actually inspired me to then make this video, right? So the first tip, guys, to improve your drone photography, this is to use leading lines. Okay, now I know a lot of you guys know what leading lines are, and we use it a lot with our camera. Really, a leading line is it's really any line that leads your eye from point A to point B. So this can be a pathway, it can be a sidewalk, it can be a trail, it can be a row of trees just leading your eye down the image, right? Now with the drones, this is fantastic, and I say it for a few reasons. One, because you're up in the air, you can find so many leading lines around you. I feel like we think that, you know, drone photography and photography with our camera is somehow different, and they're actually the exact same thing. It's just you're at a complete different leverage point, right? Or vantage point. So using leading lines, as I overlaid the B-roll and the shots, we had this one beautiful, nice little trail, or sorry, a stream, right in between, cutting in between the valleys. So I use that as a leading line, right? Now the beautiful thing with leading lines is you can have things at the end of it, almost like a rainbow in a pot of gold, right? I know that sounds weird, it's just what comes to mind. If you guys have a rainbow, right? And just like myth or whatever, and then at the end of it is like that pot of gold. It's kind of the same thing with the leading lines. Ideally, you want that line to lead your eye to the focal point or whatever you're trying to show off. So in this case, we had a natural stream leading our eyes all the way down to the highway, right, where you can see the cars in the distance. Now it doesn't have to be a highway for you guys, it can be whatever. Maybe it can be a mountain, a bluff, whatever that is, but definitely use leading lines with drone photography, considering that there are so many from the vantage point you are now at. All right, the second tip, guys, to improve your drone photography, this is to use depth. Okay, now depth and leading lines are kind of similar, but what I mean by this is, again, with a camera, right, a DSLR and mirrorless that we have, all of these things make sense, right? Use leading lines, gotcha. Use depth, gotcha. But with the drone, I feel like we neglect it because we're shooting at a higher vantage point, so we feel like all the dynamics are switched, but they're not, right? So how do we fix this? Using depth. This may be as simple as, if there are trees, right, all the beautiful fall colored trees, I may put fall colored trees in front of the camera, close to the drone, and then also have them far away in the drone. So I'm using a sense of depth, whether there's a foreground and a background, right? Instead, and I understand why people with drones, and including myself, generally don't use depth, and that's because when you're flying way up high in the sky, if you're way up high in the sky, it's just a big vastness of a valley. There's really not too much depth there because there's nothing in front of the camera. See, with a camera like this, I can put leaves or trees or something in front of the camera to give a sense of depth. With a drone, I can't just jump up to the drone and put a leaf in front of the drone, you know what I mean? So it is a bit trickier, but you can use depth, whether that means getting closer to things that are in front of it, right? You may have to move closer to it, whether that's the tree or the leaf or whatever it is. Get as creative as you can to add that depth to ultimately have that foreground and background. And now the final or the last tip to improve your drone photography, they're all related. That is to get low, okay? And getting low will make sense with all of them. All these tips work synergistically. By you getting low, you can now have easily that sense of depth. So if there's that tree, right? Let's say all the trees are here, but you're up here as the drone. There's gonna be no sense of depth because there's nothing in your foreground. Everything's down here. To add that sense of foreground, or maybe to emphasize those leading lines like the first tip, you have to physically, or you may have to fly your drone down. So if there are trees here, maybe this tree's in the foreground and all the other trees are in the background. Does that make sense? So, and I even shot a photo I'll put up here from Rattlesnake Point with my drone. This was maybe like a week or 2 ago. If you guys have seen the videos, you've seen this. Same exact thing, flying down low to have the trees in the foreground and then the bluff or the mountain, whatever you want to call it, in the background, right? But I had to do that to get low. You can do this exact same thing with video, guys, but we're speaking with photos. I can't emphasize enough how valuable and important it is to fly low and close to things with your drone. And now that doesn't mean be stupid or be reckless or, you know, like, be smart about it. I'm not saying do illegal things and fly right beside someone and possibly hurt them. No, be smart with it. And of course it's riskier, but I really do want to emphasize and show that flying low to things will add such an interesting everything, such a cool perspective. And And that's really it, guys. Those are the 3 tips. So I gave them all together because that's exactly what I just did with the drone photography. I feel they all work synergistically and they can really help you guys. So again, real quick, leading lines. Find some sort of leading lines, whether that's a stream or a trail or a path or even a row of trees. You can find it anywhere with the drone, right? You can fly wherever you want. 2, use sense of depth, whether this means you have a foreground element and a background. And 3, get low, because by getting low, it's gonna help the first 2 tips so much more. Be safe with it, fly smart, but those are my 3 tips. It's what I use every time I go shooting, and it's really helped me. So I hope that helps you guys. With that said, I want to thank you all for watching. If you guys did dig the video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want, you can subscribe. My name's David. I do videos all on outdoor photography, outdoor videography, my lifestyle, and all that good stuff, guys. So I'll put up my Instagram right here. You can check out some of the photos that I'm talking about. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, much love. Peace.